Welcome back to another week. And well, I'm gonna forego all. We got Steve, we got Terry, and that's it. Oh, so hold on, I got echo going on here. Oh, there we go. Keep all these chat windows open. So yeah, I've been away. Hello, nice to be back. Thank you so much, Doc. By the way, for covering my ass, and Terry.
No
Thank you,
problem.
boys. I actually did watch it. It was funny because I have like YouTube on my TV and shit. One of these fancy new TVs, and so like yeah, it pops up and it's like, oh, what did the boys get up today? So I don't even know who to ask. So I'm just gonna put this out there.
I need to change it.
I think as I was, when I first came back last fall, I got kind of freaky and started running people over, and then I took a break and sort of slowed down and took my time. And, Doc, we were talking just before the show, and well, actually, fuck it, Terry, what was SEO before 2008? SEO was fucking link building and this and that, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, I guess so. For some, yeah. For most, yeah.
Well, not for us, but the point being is, I had some people come to me recently for consulting services, and they were like, "I would like a technical SEO aspect. I want a technical this." What is there about SEO if you take links out of it that isn't technical? Even if you had them, but isn't it all technical? If it's H1 tags, if it's understanding copy, if it, like. Is there anything outside of technical SEO? What do we evolve to? Since Matt and the boys took links out of the equation, and that's like a scary territory no one goes to. What's left? Isn't this all technical? Really?
Well, there's good writing.
Yeah, but if you're writing for SEO as opposed to just writing, then that's again you're trying to manipulate an algorithm, so isn't that technical? Like I might be pulling.
Good writing there's good writing as to actually be meaningful to people.
Now, do you think writing is SEO? I don't.
I do.
I think writers just do their job, and then I come and look at it afterwards, and
I think a good SEO copywriter is going to employ some SEO techniques in the content, but
even if they didn't, Doc. Let's say I just went and grabbed some person out of university, right? Ask them to write me an article. Do I care if they know about SEO? No, because once I get it before I publish it, I'm gonna do those tweaks, right?
Well, that's the whole thing. But the thing is that today we need to be writing content more for the user. We always should have been writing more for the user.
Anybody can do that. You don't have to be a copywriter to do that.
You got to be a writer to be able to.
I'm not a writer, and I can do that.
Then you're a writer. If you can put content on paper that somebody is going to engage with,
last thing I call
get something out of, then you're a writer. Whether you want to call yourself one or not.
See, I'm gonna have to agree with that one, Terry. You know what I mean? Because I don't consider myself a writer, meaning I don't know the technical elements of how to write something, but. Like Doc's saying, if I write something, put it in the dojo. If I write something, put it somewhere else. I guess I'm a writer.
I would say
feel like
I'm a web writer. In other words, I talk with a voice, or when I write with a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So
if that's writing, I guess.
So as let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. As an SEO,
right,
and you're writing something for whoever, the office people or whatever. Do you just let it spill out of you and then go fix it up afterwards, or do you think about SEO while you're writing it?
Yeah, you write the copy and then you say, okay, is this going to work for SEO? Yeah. So I'll kind of look at it and say, okay, and some people aren't going to like this, but I look for my main primary terms to be in certain places. And, I'm tired of even talking about those places because people don't really take it seriously. So, if you're not going to really listen, I'm not going to waste my precious
time.
So
now for me, when you say those places, for me, a lot of that's in the first paragraph and stuff like that. You and I are against the big ass graphics and shit like that. Is that what you're alluding to? Or?
And here's my theory on it too, Doc, and I hope you agree with this. The best way, a good writer is going to, if you tell him this is the topic, right, he's going to use the right words. You shouldn't have to go back, really, and rewrite it. Or
I agree.
Precisely, dude. No, dude. I was talking to Doc yesterday because we work on a project together, and I was laughing my ass off because you know, he was contracted to write some articles, so he wrote some articles and this and that. And I was watching one of my clients' competitors, and they started using the best, you know, best jewelry safe in this particular situation. And so I was in a meeting with my client. I went, okay, these guys are chasing this term. We might as well go match them and get up there, right? I said, so and Tanya was in the meeting, right? And I was like, okay, we got to go, after you're done this and that, we have to go create a page for best this and that. And she's like, didn't Doc already write that? I don't know. So, you know, Doc actually nailed it. My point being, is to your point, is that Doc nailed the query space I needed. He didn't even know I needed it. I mean, so he just wrote as a writer. He didn't write to target that query space, right? Which I think is always best. Natural is always best.
After you write, do you not go back and put in your header tags, your
yes, yeah, definitely. That's when you deploy the content.
And that's why, you know,
that's in the deployment process when you take it into, you know, WordPress or whatever.
That
like,
stuff would be in my outline too. Like I've taken to just grab.
Yeah, I don't go that far. I don't go that far anymore.
See, like the way we do it, when we assign a project to one of our writers, we don't even give them the keyword. We give them the topic, and then it is edited for grammar and spelling and punctuation, and then the next step is editing for SEO, and that's when we start plugging in if we're going to go after a particular key phrase.
Right. I mean, like you just went nuts. You know, I mean, I gave you like 20 topics and have some fun, Doc, and you picked a couple here and there, and you wrote some stuff. And again, deployment is different. Like when I took it into WordPress and I started, you know, formatting it and putting pictures in it and whatever, that's when I started to tweak it. I didn't, when you did your job, we didn't even talk about it. You know what I mean? Like it did not happen. You just went and wrote. And I think that, to me, that's...
I don't want my writers targeting a keyword. I want my writers targeting the user, targeting the topic. Get the context right. We'll massage it. We'll get the stuff into the headings and you know the right locations in the content and the right number of times to be readable and engageable. But I don't want the writers concentrating on search engines. I want the writers trying to get the topic covered the best way possible. That's the same reason that we do not work on word count.
Okay, so rolling
700 to 1,000 words. You know, you're going to get paid the same.
Rolling back around. To, sorry, go ahead, Terry. I can't believe you remember that. You fucking asshole. What? You weren't jumping in? All right. So let's roll back around the original topic then. So what the fuck is SEO? Because I don't consider the content strategy, the content, you know, and the so I don't. Yeah, I know that all these things help SEO, but I don't really think of them as SEO. So what are we now? Aren't we just generally speaking technical beasts that are looking at, you know, a myriad of different tags and, you know, formats and
well, there's the whole measurement and redeployment.
Steve, let me ask you this then. What isn't technical SEO? That's how I got to this. Because someone said, I'd like some advice, technical SEO. And I was, you know, I'm getting paid, so I'm working. But I was thinking to myself, what the fuck isn't technical SEO? Like
version optimization isn't SEO.
That's CRO though. That's not SEO. What of SEO that falls under our mantra, our job description? What is there we do that isn't technical? I can't think of one. That's kind of how I got here.
I would say analytics isn't technical beyond putting the code in. Right?
Yeah, I think you know, maybe we all have different definitions of it. I consider
myself more marketing to me and analysis of like the way I believe if you're a good SEO, you're looking at analytics the same way a store owner looks at his store.
All right, so good. I think no, dude, you keyed my brain in here. All right, so one thing we can say that isn't technical SEO is the actual strategy itself. the actual analysis, reporting, strategy,
Right,
moving forward
right,
every month.
right.
All right. Now, okay. See, that's not bad. I can live with that.
Yeah.
I
I
can live with
also put writing and tagging and that kind of stuff. That's not unless it's
See, I don't consider writing to be SEO. Though. You know what I mean? I deploy the content, but I don't feel that writing is actually part of SEO. That's just content development.
right. And I also I wouldn't say optimizing title tags and the words on the page. That's not technical SEO.
Well, it is
Writing
because now you're
descriptions
talking
and
about code though. But you're talking about code now and H1 tags and H2 tags. And if you don't know how to read code and view source and da da da,
These days, any
still
idiot
technical.
can go to WordPress and where
That's still technical, man.
Put the title in, Dave.
10 years ago, there was another half SEO that just threw links at shit. And that still exists today, but not as much. But you know what I mean? Outside of links, really.
Like you don't have to know much to be able to optimize titles. To me, that's not really technical. Technical is when you have to use abilities beyond words.
Well, I think the stuff that is more marketing and sales oriented, that's definitely not in the technical circle. Okay.
But isn't that now,
like
Martin?
Terry says, these days with
that-
WordPress, you don't have to know shit from Shinola to be able to set up your heading.
Yeah, but Doc, aren't we now wearing different hats? You know what I mean? Now we're moving into the promotional and this and that field. You know, I know we all wear separate hats. So I'm just trying to define to myself what the fuck is SEO. And once you start putting on that promotional hat or that social hat or this and that, okay, that's a different genre. That's a different discipline. That's a different world. You know what I mean? That's not SEO.
That's just another type of marketing. Just another channel of marketing. And that, to me, is not technical SEO. Now, see, maybe my point of view for technical, what I consider technical SEO is a little bit more narrow. I look at it in terms of the nuts and bolts that make the site work right, make it usable and attractive, not from a design standpoint, but from a functionality standpoint, get the navigation right, make it easy for the user to find what they want, and make it fast for the search engine, and make it attractive for the algorithms. Those things
so again, same question I gave to Steve. What isn't technical SEO? What is there other than strategy and planning and all that shit? What is there about on-site stuff that isn't?
Content is not.
Yeah, well, see, content is not SEO to me.
Now, to me, content is not SEO.
Oh, to me, it's everything on a web page to some degree is SEO.
Yeah.
If you say technical SEO, then I'm looking at response codes, all the data that you get in Screaming Frog. Definitely, that's all. The stuff that you check there, that's technical SEO.
Okay, so go back.
I agree with
wait. Go back to Doc's point because he just said heading tags and stuff like that. Those are in Screaming Frog, though.
But the technical end of that part of it, right, Dave? For me, technical on titles and stuff is, are they duplicate? Are they, that sort of thing. So in other words, the things that would be negative in using those tags, that becomes technical SEO.
For instance, if you've got duplicate meta descriptions or no meta description whatsoever, that's a technical aspect. That needs to be addressed.
Yeah,
to write the meta description, that's marketing. I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Right. What goes in it is marketing or something else.
Exactly. But the fact that it needs to be there and not duplicate, that's technical.
But it also entails technical, Doc, because in order to get that meta description tag into the SERP,
he said it was
the keyword.
He said the implementation is technical, but the words are marketing. And
right.
I
agree with that on most of the HTML. Right.
I totally agree.
Like these things, all our things overlap. So it's all overlap. That's why it's good to distinguish between, on-page stuff, right? Technical
right,
stuff.
Because the PPC guy worries about his PPC. The social media guy worries about his social media. The SEO guy has to worry about all of it. It's all brand lift. It's all getting the word out there, which creates links. Which
because all those things, all those
feed into a search engine
ranking in the end.
Right.
Well,
Just some are technical and some are. And that goes into how they should be priced.
These days, there's so many new things that can be employed in SEO in general and in technical SEO that if you do a Venn diagram, it no longer looks like a damn daisy. It looks like a fucking chrysanthemum or a sunflower. You know, there's so much overlay. You know, like Terry's saying, everything overlaps to some degree.
Right. No, for sure.
Many more petals on that flower today than there were 10 years ago.
Dude, every one of my clients, I even still have Google alerts running so that anybody says anything about them anywhere on the web, I'm, finding out that, within a minute, because it all matters. It all overlays. It all touches each other. Everything.
And that's why it's so much more difficult these days to be an all-round SEO. Now, you can't be very damn good if you're really doing it all, because there's just too many damn irons to keep in the fire these days to stay up on it. You can get the basics. You can recognize where something needs more focus.
For those of you
I think that's more tied to time.
For those of you watching the show, I just like to dispute Doc's point and let them know, everyone out there, that you can still hire me. I can do it all. Anyways, sure. But in my position, though, Doc, these days, you know what I mean? Like if I'm working with in-house teams of 4 or 5 people and this and that, as a consultant.
Yeah.
I've been a link builder and struggled at it, hated it, left. I've dealt with content. I've dealt with, HT access. I've dealt with href language and I know all this shit. Right? So, can I do it all? Sure. But am I going to go do it all? No. There is a point where you actually have enough knowledge, where I live in my working world, to be able to, watch over people and say, okay, you do this, you do that. You know what I mean? Like, so I am not a total fan of the nobody can do it all theory. I think there's a definition missing. I mean, that's kind of why I started this conversation today. I think there's a definition missing of what we are and what our job is and what we do. I get people asking me shit lately, and I question myself.
I would question
okay, go ahead, Doc.
I would just question whether we really need in our community right now another friggin' definition. We've already got gurus, ninjas, and experts. Let's not add more.
No, I know. I agree, because we used to have that problem all the time. You know what I mean? Like people are branching out with specified services and whatever. But I think there's just a lack of definition whatsoever. I don't know.
Well, I don't think there's so much a lack of definition. I just think there's a lack of agreement. For instance,
there'll never be agreement.
Alan Bleiweiss and I, we both concentrate heavily on the technical aspects of audits, okay? But he and I disagree many times about what is entailed in an audit. And it's primarily because he does huge enterprise sites where I'm doing SMBs 90% of the time. I think the largest site I ever had like 150,000 pages. And him, 10, 15 million pages is not uncommon. Okay, so our point of view is going to be different. That's somewhat natural. But Terry and I have often disagreed on some things. And we're probably disagreeing right now between the four of us.
Give me one here. Come on.
Nothing comes to mind offhand because we've gotten
to where this is radio here. We need good action.
We've gotten to where we agree more than we disagree. But the thing is, everybody's got a different point of view. Okay. For instance, I know a guy that does PPC. He claims to be a PPC specialist, but he won't touch Facebook paid. Okay, that's paid advertising. You either do paid ads or you don't. Okay, if you want to call yourself an AdWords specialist, that's fine. But you can't say I'm a PPC specialist and you won't touch anything but AdWords. To me, that's my point of view.
Yeah, I get you.
It's just so everybody's got a different idea in their head of what's involved. Looks like I'm saying my idea of what's technical SEO is probably more
like I said, dude,
narrow than yours.
2 of the last 3 people that came in my door for work, to hire me or whatever, were saying, I need help on the technical side. And I was like, well, I don't know. What the fuck does that mean? It's like, to me, it's all technical. Like, there's not a lot that I do that's not involved in the website and the infrastructure and the back end and the down to the server. You know what I mean? Like if it's speed, if it's HD access, no matter what. Like I'm always messing around with stuff that's very technical. You know, outside of like you know, we already talked about earlier, outside the planning and the strategy and the, you know, the high end stuff, I think it all is. Like, what isn't technical about SEO? Like link building used to be a thing. You know, I mean, 10 years ago it was a thing, and it was definitely, you could say there's on-site SEO and there's off-site SEO, and that's what people would do, right? Meaning I'm a dumbass link builder who spams fucking links, or I'm a guy who understands the website.
Well, you could even say,
but 10 years later now that these link builders have kind of drifted off, I'm kind of wondering what the fuck are we left with?
You could even say there's some aspect of technical in link building, because you got to be worried about your anchor text. And is it going to be a
because they do that. Yeah,
they
do that. Yeah, that's the way they were. Yeah, they definitely worried about that shit. No. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But
there's SEO and link building too because of the penalties. But you know, that should be covered in the strategy.
So again, I guess, you know, I keep going in the reverse order here. So if someone came and asked you for a non-technical audit, what would you cover, Doc?
I would tell them they don't need an audit. You know, if you don't want to hear technical shit, go away.
Okay, how about duplicate content? Right. So part of my audit is looking at sites for duplication and shit like that.
Do it that is actionable. Technical audits provide actionable stuff.
Sure.
Right. You can fix it. It'll work.
It needs fixing.
Whereas, you know, most of the others, like, okay, when I do an audit, that's when I look at titles, and that becomes part of SEO. But it's not part, like, I divide my audits into like 4 parts: technical, content, social, and link building. And content is looking at our, you know, all the stuff that's supposed to be there. So, you know, they're 4 different audits because somewhat they overlap, but in the end, you know, you got to look at it from 4 different perspectives.
Well, when I do a technical audit, basically it involves everything that Screaming Frog or Sitebulb delivers. Okay. I mean, from canonicals and schema or open graph through the, you know, duplicate titles or missing meta descriptions. Are images optimized? Do they have alt tags on the images? That's all going to be in a technical audit.
Yeah, I'll look to see that the robot text is correct.
Oh yeah.
The sitemap
is it blocked from crawling? You know,
you know, is the all the hit access working properly? Are they able to do 410s, or, you know, are they not doing things properly? You know,
and to me, it just keeps expanding. You know, I mean, the last 10 years, again, going, you know, using that as a reference point, but so much has changed. I mean, we got this mobile first index now. We got HTTPS. We got, you know, so many things have changed on site that I love it. Mike, you know, Nancy was saying to me, Doc, that she was like, another change from Google. That'll keep it busy.
Well, there's new stuff. There's shifted focus. There's new focuses. There's dilution of things that used to be important. You know, so you know it's just constant evolution.
All right, Steve, you're gonna be our voice of reason there, Steve. So what do you got?
I was going to answer your other question about the non-technical stuff, and a non-technical audit would basically just be the readability of the content. How readable is it? And maybe it's marketing. You try to define an audience, and you try to get your content to write to that level.
Which is, I think that's where I struggle, though, is because if I had a UX person, like a usability person here on my left hand, and I had an SEO here on my right hand, and I had a piece of content I want to pay someone to analyze, guess what? I'm not giving it to the SEO. You know what I mean? So is that actually an SEO job, you know?
The same is probably true, David, for accessibility. There's definitely some overlap there, but most SEOs don't know accessibility from a hole in the ground.
No,
I would go to somebody like Kim Kraus-Berg if I wanted an audit for accessibility. Kim is the gal that I'd bring in because she knows that stuff inside out. I know enough of it to recognize the fact that a specialist
I did
needs to
actually
look
see
at
your
this.
post. I saw your post on Facebook when she helped you, worked with you on something or whatever. Exactly. So again, is that SEO? I don't know. To me,
There's an overlap, but I don't know that
SEO overlaps everything. I mean, like
I don't consider it technical SEO certainly, but I think it has something. It has the foot in the ground on the ground in the SEO camp, but it's just a matter of overlap. I don't think you can really come up with a meaningful list of these are the things that are SEO, these are the things that aren't, because it's going to depend upon who's looking at it.
Well, the other thing that the SEO I think has to do is actually define a direction for everybody. The social media team.
That's the funny part, though. That's what we were talking about earlier. That because we touch everything, because all the actions that are made eventually funnel back to the site, which is us and organic and Google.
But
we're low in the totem pole. Nobody listens to us. So
right. Here's my problem with that is if the SEO has to be the person leading the whole project, then let's say I know I could maybe count the people that I think could do that job probably on one hand.
You know what's funny, Terry? Just as soon as you started talking, before you even finished that last part, I was thinking the same thing. The problem is I don't know enough guys that could actually control that process. Right. Literally. And I've been 20 years in, and I could, just like you, I could probably tell you, on two hands, people I think could control that kind of almost like underneath the marketing director guy.
And here's the thing. It's a lot like a lot of other professions. Like I compare this a lot to like when I was a cook. When you start out, you're basically the bum boy in the kitchen. That's the guy who's doing the, writing the titles, writing the meta descriptions, going through the copy, right? That's bottom line, right? That's like a junior type SEO. That's how I kind of grade it. Then when they learn that and they've learned enough about HTML and the nuts and bolts of a web page, then they can go on to technical and start to learn. So it follows kind of like a webmaster as well. Like, the oldest.
Well, no disrespect to any other SEOs out there, but
no, I'm not.
The best ones I know all have web development background, meaning they understand, Apache servers and MySQL and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like all the best SEOs I know have that background,
Yeah, and they'll probably always do web development and only do SEO when they need money. I know that's the way it is with me. I love building sites. I do SEO for money.
I kind of look at like a pit crew on a racetrack. Your mechanic and your driver and the guy that's changing the tires and the guy that's running the pit, their duties overlap. They're part of a team, but they need to know, the mechanic needs to know the problems that the driver faces, and the driver needs to recognize the engine as being a little bit doggy at the high end, but they're not specialists. They know when to call in a specialist. The driver's not going to climb out and try to tune that friggin' engine. He's going to tell his mechanic it's cutting out at the top end of the band.
But now we're assuming that everybody in that pit crew is working towards a common goal, which has not been my experience in corporate. And hell, like the project you and I are working on, I got that PPC team and the social team that are like dogs, and
yep.
I mean, they're that's a really wonderful analogy, but I don't see it play out that way too often. I mean, it's like it's often the whoever, if it's the owner of the company, if it's a marketing director or whoever. I don't rarely, I don't often see them controlling that whole process.
Well, and especially
it's almost like it's almost like from my corporate experience, they pit the social team against the SO team, against the other, the PR team, and it's almost like they make them dogs fighting for budget as opposed to everyone working towards a common goal.
I worked for a CEO of a Fortune 100 one time, who actually said in a staff meeting that he wanted his sales and marketing guys to fight between them. He had a separate marketing department and sales department, and he wanted them at each other's throat because that's where he got the best results. And I thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard until I really looked at it.
Yeah, but again, if you could take the same situation and motivate the team members to work together as opposed to putting them against each other.
It's better. Yeah, but it still works the other way too.
Our good friend Zara is always with us every bloody week because she's just a trooper. She was saying, hold up here. Yeah, she's busy writing a lot of meta descriptions and stuff. Okay, so since we're gonna be doing some technical SEO, well, this isn't technical. My viewpoint, you guys can put yours in after this. My viewpoint with meta descriptions are they're more of a leader. They don't have a ranking value, so it's all about the copy. Like you guys said earlier, that's more of a marketing job than an SEO job. So meta description, boys, it has no ranking value. So the goal is to pull someone in, no?
Yeah. Here's how I kind of look at leaders of projects. Like we were discussing. To me, it's the person with the most experience in all things and how they work together. I think
I call bullshit on that because Bill Slosky could not probably lead a team. He's just too quiet. He's too gentle. He's too, I don't see him being the kind of. He's got knowledge coming out of his ass, and he's got knowledge everywhere. He's a smart motherfucker.
Finish. How they know more is because they've worked in PPC. They've done content.
But Terry, isn't it like everything? You're either a leader or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, don't you need a leader in that position? Someone who can, motivate people to go in a direction.
Yeah, to some point. But if he doesn't know what direction they should be going, then he's a terrible leader.
True.
Right. My point is that a lot of who should lead a team is experience.
For sure. But a leader, you just said lead a team. I think a leader is important too, though. You can have the knowledge, you can have the experience, you can have the history, but if you ain't got that ability to make people listen to you, if you ain't got to be able to captivate people, that ability to move people towards a goal, yeah.
I agree with that, Dave. I just assume that a leader has those qualities.
The thing is, that somebody who's very good at a job, that's one set of skills. Somebody who's a good leader is another set of skills. It's like trying to turn a damn surgeon into an animal trainer, okay? There's two different sets of skills. You might coincidentally find somebody who's damn good on the ground, but is also a great leader. But more often than not, they're going to be good at one or the other, not both.
Yeah, see, I agree. You and I were talking before the show, and I was telling you that, my previous life, 20 years ago, I ran a construction company. Same deal. I had people more skilled than me that worked for me, but their skill wasn't, going out and finding jobs, leading, controlling, putting, So yeah, everyone's got a skill set, and I think it's a balancing act.
To me, that alone is the greatest skill that a leader can have. To be able to evaluate the people around them and use them in the best way they can.
Agree 100%.
That's why they have to understand. And my point was, Dave, that when you've actually done those jobs, you know what it entails for that person.
Right. Not even talking to that person, how to efficiently run that department of those many departments. You got to be on. You got to come up through the trenches. I always believe that. I don't think being a walk-on is ever going to work.
Yeah, that's why the one thing that I always look at and why I don't worry about, when people say, oh, they're looking at your stuff, they're copying you. Well, I don't care, really, because if all they're copying is my SEO, then they don't really understand what I'm doing. So I have nothing to worry about.
Okay, but Terry, okay, I love you, and you know I love you, so I'm going to look you right in the face here and tell you this. What you need to understand, Terry, is that you have simplified SEO. You have made it what it is, which is just a job and simple. You can't sell courses on that, Terry. You can't sell Uber clients on $10,000 a month, Terry. We can't make money on that, Terry. God damn it, you're making too much sense. Stop it.
Yeah, but we found that we found that.
Oh, I know, man. I know, yeah.
What is it now? 11 years?
Well, that's the problem. It's like everyone wants to oversell stuff and make it sound fancy and make it, you know what I mean? Like, if they're selling courses or if they're selling clients, it doesn't fucking matter. They all just want to make it sound more than it is. And, Doc, I think that was one of the things you said me off air before we started. You're like, well, it's pretty common sense. It's pretty straightforward. Like, anybody that has an ability to analyze the situation can figure this out.
Well, I'm going to go back to what I was saying earlier. There's so many things now that are part of an overall campaign that weren't in existence or were less important a few years back. I think that it's more important. Like, for instance, I told you, I don't touch PPC. Never have, never will. I hate it with a passion. When I got a job on PPC, I call in Steve because he knows what the hell he's doing.
I never touch anything I don't know how to do.
Exactly.
Ever.
And I don't want to know how to do it. So if I'm going to have a project that needs paid as well, I'm going to bring in a specialist. If I'm going to have a project that needs link building, I don't do that either. I'm going to bring in a specialist. I get guys like Rob and Steve working on my job. I just point them towards the URL.
Well, and in my case, of course, Doc, local.
Yeah. It's just... it depends.
I didn't even touch that local stuff, dude, because it's a finite
matter of building a team. So I don't want to know it all. I don't have time to stay up on it all. I'm sometimes hard pressed to stay up on the aspects that I'm really interested in.
But that's the thing, Doc, right? I did PPC for 4 years. Why? Because I was bored of doing SEO.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll do this. And while I was doing the PPC, I also did some programming of a back end to monitor PPC.
If I ever get bored enough to do PPC, somebody please kill me.
It's actually challenging.
Well, here, hold on there, Doc. Doc, we definitely kill you.
It wasn't like I went into an area where it was, really easy. When I went into it, I picked payday loans. That's a challenge.
I don't.
I'm saying I think it's easy. I don't, by any means.
Oh, okay. But a lot of you would be surprised, Doc, how much I use my SEO knowledge in PPC.
Oh, sure, especially analytics.
All my landing page stuff, all my keywords, all that went into it. The only difference between SEO and PPC, one, you're paying for the keywords, right? That's it.
Yep.
You know what's good about that, Doc? I can apply what I learn in PPC to SEO by looking at the calls to action, and you're getting pure analysis.
Well, look how much information for our SEO we've been getting from AdWords for years.
Yeah, well, that's just the keyword numbers. What I mean is I would put a hook in an ad, right? Like, fill out a form in less than 3 minutes. Oh, geez, that got a lot of clicks. Maybe I should put that on the page as well.
Yeah, you think?
All that stuff added up.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're doing paid, you've got to be armpit deep in analytics, or you're just throwing money down a hole.
It's a one way to learn analytics, that's for sure.
You bet. Or else you lose a job, one or the other.
Well, the nice thing about PPC is that it's very rewarding. I mean, you see, 30 days later, you know if what you did worked.
Yeah, and I made 10 times the money I did on that.
Yeah, and I got a client that's burning up about $14,000 a month on crap. So
and getting nothing for it.
some people don't take that same frame of mind, Steve.
No, but as if you're doing PPC for somebody and you say, well, look at
but you can say that about any kind of marketing, okay? As a marketer, if my goal is not conversions, then what am I doing? I don't care if it's SEO, if it's PPC, if it's PR, if it's social, I don't give a fuck. I mean, you're paying me? This is like the social media team on this project with me and Doc. Like they're just posting stuff. We get no traffic. What analytics? We have analytics. There's analytics. Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, they're literally just taking people's money and burning it. I mean, like every marketer should always be looking at: are you making your client money? If I'm charging you $500 a month, I better be making you $1,000 a month. You mean like,
or you're not going to make it very long, yeah.
Yeah, like that's just basic marketing 101. I don't care what team you work on.
But people will go to social media and say, "Well, it's about the brand building."
Yeah, because they used to be link builders. Then Google smacked them in the head in 2010, and they all ran off and said, "Oh, we're social media guys now." No, they're lazy ass fucks that should work at McDonald's. They just sit around and do these fucking jobs. They used to build links, and that all got shit on, so they went to social media and they do the same fucking shit.
They do social media because they couldn't get a job.
They can't. They have no brains, man. They should be at McDonald's, okay? But no, any marketer, I don't care what department you work in, if you are not covering the cost of your existence, how do you sleep at night? I mean, forget your client and everything else. How do you sleep at night, man? I can't do it. I can't charge my client fucking $2,000 a month and make them like 1,000 and go to bed and go.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there.
Dave, that's not a sustainable mod.
Right, like you taught me. Like literally, I shit you not, Steve. 2007, 2008, so about 10 years ago. When I met Terry, I was one of those other SEOs. Meaning I just ran around giving advice. Hey, go do this. Go fix this title tag. Go do this. I met Terry and he was like, dude, your client won't be paying you in about 3 months if you keep that up. I was like, why? And Terry was like, because if you ain't making the money with your advice, they're going to go to business or not pay you or whatever. I mean, like any marketer's got to understand that simple concept. I learned that 10 years ago from Terry. I mean, like, you got to be covering your cost of what you cost them.
And then some, yeah. It's simple ROI. Yeah. You ain't providing it, then you're going to be on the job market very shortly.
Yep. Fucking A, man. But again, I spent, the first 10 years of my career as an SEO not understanding that. Thinking that my job was just to, talk about title tags. Talk about, no. Got to make them money. It sounds stupid. It sounds obvious, but it's not. Most, so many young SEOs I talked to today, and thank you, Terry. So many, I'm like, okay, do you focus on, where they're making? Oh, I don't know. What do you mean where they make money? I don't know where they make money. They're making money.
Yeah, that's not my problem. That's up to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. If there's, if there's something. Oh, a client of mine. He was selling this product and I was saying to him, we're throwing an awful lot of money into these ads. I don't know if it's worth it to you. And he goes to me, well, what do you think one of those things are worth? I said, oh, maybe $700 or $800. He says they're worth $8,000. I said, okay, well, we'll throw the money at them.
Wow.
So end of the day,
that's one of the first questions I want to know is
how do you make money?
Is on every product.
I'm not kidding you, Doc. A couple of first fucking client meetings I had with Terry when we got together. He just went in and went, how do you make money? What? I called you for SEO. How do you make money? Okay, well, I want to work on these. I heard these reports and these audits from these other people. And how do you make money? Terry would just hammer it. I mean, it made sense because that's all he cares about. He'll figure out how to, work that down from there. I mean, how do you make this product? Here's my money makers, and then Terry works it down from there. I mean, and that was just pure genius. But so many people don't do that. So many people don't even doesn't enter their fucking head. And again, Doc, I've been out involved in these groups and shit on Facebook, and they don't get it. Like none of them get it. They're too busy trying to chase ranks instead of chasing money. I mean, if your client's not making money, you're fucked.
It doesn't matter if you rank. You can't take that to the bank. They aren't going to keep paying you if they don't have any money.
Well, it's like back in another life when I was doing business consulting, I'd go into a client and they start talking about how proud they are that they've got a 19% profit margin when their competitors are running 11 and 12. I said, well, yeah, how many are you selling? or the fact that their sales numbers.
I'm sorry, I got to expand on that just for the folks that might ever see this. Yeah, so 11% profit margin on 100,000 units is totally different than a 12% margin on 20 units.
Yeah. Well, I had one not just before I retired. They were controlling almost 45% of the U.S. market in a pretty pricey product. Okay, but their profit margin was 1.7%. The number 2 guy was making like 4.5%.
Run away screaming.
Well, no, they were losing their ass. They had $3.5 million of debt over the last quarter. And, what the fuck? When do you look at things and realize that every day you open the door, it costs you another $300,000?
Okay, so
Stop opening the door.
I'm gonna bust all your balls with this one. So whoever wants to yell out, go for it. I started my first business, I guess, in the early 90s or something like that. And I went to business school and I was in construction. I mean, I had nothing to do with the internet. And does the internet not just seem like everybody can open a business and there's just like a deluge of people that have no concept how to run a business out here? Like what I mean? When we take jobs on every week, we have no idea if this person has a fucking clue how to run a business. I mean, like when I used to do stuff back in the before the pre-internet days, most people that ran a business had a bit of a clue. It seems like these days, you're when you get a client inquiry for retain your services, it's a crapshoot. They could be total fucking idiots and just sitting in their apartment in Toronto or something and have no idea how to run a business. Has the internet in the last 20 years changed like how we as marketers do things?
In terms of learning how to run things like
in terms of a minefield out there of clients.
Oh,
that haven't got a fucking clue, and okay, because we all want those long-term clients that'll be with us for years because they know how to run a business, so they'll be in business, so we'll still be getting paid 2 years from now, as opposed to SEO job here, SEO job there, less than 6 months, less than 3 months. Because
it's like you say, it's so easy these days. Everybody is concentrating on: do I have a good product, or do I have a good service, and do I can I make that product? Can I deliver this service without any thought to? Can I pay the rent? Can I buy the groceries? Can I keep my kids in school? Can I run it like a business so that it makes money? They just think about, will this product sell? Will this service sell?
Well, you got Shark Tank. You got the reality TV. You got Shark Tank. Well, I can go make a product. I can go. It's like people are dreaming and shit. Like there's some people that should just fucking get a job.
And if I get in trouble, I'll go over on Crowdsource and have my friends raise me $700,000 and bail me out.
It's true. Because in 1990, if you were starting a business, you were putting 50 grand up, of your own money just to get started. Today, it's 5 or it's 2 grand that people are putting up.
No, it's register a domain name, go get a crappy host, and fucking slap on a fucking WordPress, grab a theme, throw it on. You're under $1,000.
I started with $5.
Yeah.
And I had nothing. And it can be done. When I did it, it was real easy. And the thing is, everybody thinks it's still that easy.
Well, it's easy to hang a shingle, but it's not easy to put that business behind the shingle.
Back then, I could have chose to do anything, Doc, and by now I would be making a ton of money just by longevity. Like a lot of the people that I see out there now, sites that are really popular and making a lot of money. When I first saw them, I thought they were, hooey. Waste of time.
And
Craigslist would be one of them.
And to be fair, some of them are still hooey.
Well, there's that too. But, that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Craigslist,
definitely.
The guy makes millions, and it's still got the same design it had the first day I saw the thing.
So I had a call from a guy this week, and he wanted to do this site, and it needs an application, and it's a dating site. And I just rolled my eyes. I thought, oh, here's another guy that wants to cash in on the Match.com kind of craze. And I thought, okay, well, we'll humor him. We get into the conversation, and this guy started this business on Facebook, and he's been doing it all by hand, and he answers 120 emails every night by hand. And so he wants to automate the process. So he's got a real process, but you never know.
Dude, a big market like that, the first, and I've come across these. First question I always ask myself is, why the fuck is he talking to me? Because if you really got the budget to go compete with those motherfuckers, you wouldn't be talking to me. You'd be going to bigger agency, you'd be going to bigger group, Like there's a time sometimes in business you got to go, what? Eh? The dating market, man, he's fucked. Unless you got mega bucks.
I think he's into a niche. He's into a niche.
Here's the thing, though, Dave. If I was going to do dating, I'd do it for some really obscure segment where people of a like,
the clown fetish with the clown outfits and stuff.
It's just another community, right? A dating site is just another community, basically. So if you take that approach,
yeah, but you've been in the pot. You've been in the pot. You've been in gambling. I just don't go in those nasty places.
It's just more dick pics. That's all.
Oh, God.
Now, don't get Terry all excited, man. Stop that.
Wow. I'm just saying that, there's all kinds of niches that you can do in that.
Yeah, but I get a feeling from what Steve's saying, there's a carrot and a stick here somewhere.
No, it was a niche.
No, but what does he want you to do? Is he going to pay you up front, or is it carrot and a stick?
Oh no, it's paid work.
Well, take it. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I mean, your wife will get the business for the application.
Just don't sell him the moon. Don't promise him the sky. You know what I mean? Like,
no, he's already got the clients.
Yeah.
And so he just needs the website and the forms. Basically, all it is forms and an application.
There's no such thing as basically when you do shit right, it's very complicated, and you need to make sure processes are in place in case you know what all right, to all you, since you old motherfuckers. When I was first in business, like 30 years ago, one of the very first lessons I learned was plan for success. And what that means is that by some weird fucking freak of nature, what you're doing works. One of the number one killers of businesses is they didn't have the infrastructure, didn't have the plans, didn't have the.
They outgrew themselves, yeah.
Yeah, and it buries so many fucking businesses.
Mm-hmm. Most.
So that's something, Steve, you might want to talk to him about. Say, dude, if you really believe in what you're doing here, let's plan for success. Plan to have the infrastructure to get there. Because that's a killer. I've seen it kill so many businesses over the last 30 years.
Tim seems really good at that. Tim Colling.
Yeah, but he'll be dead soon, so just bring him to me.
You're all hard.
No, I've been away, man. I've been away. I'm not coming back easier. I'm just kidding.
Everything he does, he always
Tim looks like he needs a copy every half hour, man. He's not a motivated guy.
He's not a motivated guy.
No. No. Like, I would say to the doctor, Terry, I gotta say it, like, you know what I mean? I did 1,000 podcasts and 1,000 fucking hangouts with Terry and 1,000 conversations, and my mother told me a million times never to exaggerate. I would send everyone to Terry, just like a sniff test. I mean, like, I swear to God, from now on, any client I get, yes, could you speak to our sales staff and all this? Just send them to Terry. And then
Let
Terry,
me introduce you to my customer service manager.
if they survive his fucking ass,
They can survive anything.
Yep, good client. There we go. Like, fuck. Yeah. I think I have a new calling for you, Terry.
Customer service manager.
No. Sales qualification expert. Because if they can get through Terry and still send me an email back, yeah, we're okay. So how do you do that, Terry? Is it just? I know it's like everyone jokes about you being grumpy and shit, but I know you that well, so it's not what it is. Like, how do you, this many years in, Terry, still see black and white and call shit for what it is? How do you manage to do that? Like, I fall prey to
lived my whole life.
I fall prey to good speeches from clients, potential clients. I still get fucked once in a while by falling for speeches and this and that. You have an innate ability to see the difference.
Well, here's the thing. Life has taught me, given me a radar that not a lot of people have. As you know,
yeah, but having the radar and acting on it are two different things, though.
Oh,
you just shut shit down. You just go bam, bam, right ahead.
Here's the thing. I really don't care what people think about me, so I just say what's on my mind. And it's my ability to just say what I think rather than dance around it. Because you know why? In the end, I've learned that when I dance around it and try and be nice,
it fucks up in the end.
They really don't get it.
Yeah, see, I'm still dancing and I'm still having those same problems. So.
Yeah, because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, yeah, or maybe I need the money, or maybe this and that. I got external factors that affect my personality.
See, when you asked Terry that question, I was tempted to interrupt and say I could answer that question for him. Terry's got zero patience for bullshit.
I know, but that's a talent, dude. You know me. I do not have a high tolerance for bullshit.
No, but I mean,
Terry's in another world.
Terry's
up here on his own, man. Like he supersedes me, you know.
He won't waste time putting up with bullshit, and he won't waste somebody else's time listening to bullshit. Cut to the quick, get it out there, get it handled, you know. And that's what's cool about Terry is that you may not like his opinion, but you know it's honest.
You respect it.
Like the biggest compliment I ever got from a client was a handwritten, delivered by snail mail letter of recommendation that basically said my best trait was that I don't bullshit them and that I never sugarcoated, or I always gave them good advice, and
Doug, I'm gonna go track down his address this week, and we're both gonna send him a snail mail handwritten letter. Or that's happening now.
Or an envelope full of confetti, at least, you know.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Maybe some anthrax, less competition.
Some vague white powder. You know?
But that's why I don't always if I wanted to be a different, I would have 100% closing rate, right? But I would end up working with people that I really didn't want to work with. So,
Terry. Yeah, no, I can vouch for that, Doc. Terry is horrible with people. They don't. Again, it's kind of like you were saying. The same thing. Like when Terry and I worked together, it was like I was the smoother and he was the fucking in the head bullhorn.
The hammer.
They don't want to listen. They want to be spoon fed. They want to be candy coated. They want all that. And I just Terry won't do it. Like, dude, I swear to God, dude. Like, and even talked to him when we going into meeting. I was like, Terry, just don't be too tough on this guy, this that. And Terry be like, yeah, Dave, no problem. We get in the meeting. And 10 minutes, it's going okay. And then the guy would say something stupid. And it was like, oh fuck. Like, we're done now because Terry's gonna run him over. But it's again, like Terry and I have been working together for about 5 years, and I miss him. I mean, there's so many times I made fuck ups in my career over the last 5 years. I was like, oh man, I should listen. It's like, there's a talent to just even running a business in this industry. Never mind doing the technical shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm setting up now for retirement. That's what I want to do. I just want to work with people coming into the business, help them build their SEO and web design businesses. I think that's the best way that I can give back to the community. Oh no.
Well, you definitely got the experience you could share.
That was way too emotional. Terry's giving back to the community. Like, oh God, no, what happened? We created a monster here.
A lot of these people are really good at what they do. They just don't know how to sell what they do. They don't even know how to go about it. Some of the best SEOs I know were people that I worked with early, and that's what I showed them more than anything was how to build their business or how to get enough work to stay alive. People are like it.
The other thing that I would say too, Dave, with the advent of the internet, the whole nature of knowing how to run a business has changed dramatically. My first business was a brick and mortar. I had to be concerned.
Well, that's all we had. There was only brick and mortar. There was nothing else.
I had rent and utilities and insurance and employees and all the car expenses and gas bills. I had all these things that I had to think about that an online business doesn't have to be concerned with. I mean, an agency, sure, but if it's strictly online.
I'll let you keep going. But does that not piss you off? Because I was the same way. Like, my first businesses were all, cost intensive.
Doesn't piss me off at all. Because I learned a whole lot more about how to run a business.
The asshole can go register a domain name and pretend to make money.
The big difference that I believe between online and offline, right, is that with an online business, you don't need money if you're willing to spend the time.
Yeah. Pretty much true. Yeah.
Whereas if you're in the real world, you got to have money, and it doesn't matter then to even get in the door, right? Mm-hmm. And then it takes more money to keep the doors open until you're making enough. You know what I'm saying? And
hey, Doug, go. You had some shit there. We cut you off. Sorry.
The other thing is that I think that it's much easier in a brick and mortar, if your cash flow is not up to it, if you're just not getting the cash flow, come the end of the month when it's time to pay the rent, it's pretty easy to spot. An awful lot of people that are running strictly online businesses will do it for 8, 10, 12 months, maybe 2 years before they ever realize they've been losing their ass. They're killing themselves
when there's no money in the bank.
They're putting in 80, 90 hours a week, and they're not making enough money to buy a pack of cigarettes. And they've been doing it for 2 years because it's not as easy to spot. It's keeping them busy, okay? They're occupied. They're trying. They feel like they're making an effort, so they must be successful. And, sorry, that ain't the way it works. That's not how any of this works.
Okay, so does this, it's kind of like there's traffic and, cars on the street or something, and you have to rearrange how your city planning is. Is there a point where this starts to level out? Again, we had the internet bubble, 98 to 2001 or whatever, and we've seen a whole bunch of iterations since. Does this ever go away? Is this reality? Is the new reality that any dickhead and his dog can start a business, and so we as service providers need to be more wary of who we are working with, or do you think this will ever like start to level out and the weak
Well,
will disappear?
maybe eventually, but not anytime soon. Maybe 20, 30 years down the road. There's so much evolution.
Oh, Katie said hi.
Hi,
What's up,
Tanya.
Doc?
Hey, kid.
Says hi,
Good.
kid.
What's up, Doc?
But yeah, like I don't think it's going away. I agree with you. I think, but there might be some point, maybe 2030, 2035 or something, that people will just get real jobs as opposed to trying to make a business on the internet. Does it ever go away? Or is it just an infomercial world? We live in an infomercial world where go start a business, go daddy.
I think it's not going to be recognizable 10 years from now to what it is today. But I have no clue how it's going to be, but it's going to be different. It's changing so much, so fast. I don't think we can even imagine what we would see in 2028, 10 years down the road.
I'm with you there.
There's people who see it. They just don't hang out in our community.
Well, those are not people that see it, Terry. Those are people that will probably cause it.
Yeah.
They got the vision. They're gonna try to plant this new idea and make it grow. So they're the guys behind it. Without even realizing.
Before the Illuminati come and shut us down, I'm gonna take this out there, boys. Thank you very much, everyone. Say goodbyes. Bye. It was a good session. I enjoyed that. It's a lot of fun. Good information there. All right, Doc, Terry, Steve, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good week.